Good day. I'm Carl Anton A. Kelvio and a BS Marine Engineering third year student. In this video, we will discuss the types of engine according to its operating cycle, namely the 4-stroke engine and the 2-stroke engine. First of all, a stroke is measured as the piston travels between its extreme points, which are the top dead center and the bottom dead center. Each stroke is accomplished in half a revolution of the crankshaft. The simplest definition of the two is that the 4-stroke engine is an engine that takes 2 complete revolutions of the crankshaft, or 4 strokes of the piston, to complete the 4 series of events, while this 2-stroke engine only takes 1 complete revolution of the crankshaft, or 2 strokes of the piston, to complete the 4 series of events. To understand more, I will explain to you the basics of what the 4 series of events in an engine. First is the intake. It is the drawing or supplying air in the cylinder. Next is the compression stroke. It is the compression of the air by upward motion of the piston. Next is the power stroke. It is when hot air and fuel mixed and combusted produce power by the burning gases. And lastly is the exhaust stroke, the expelling or releasing of the products of combustion. Now, I will explain how the 4-stroke engine operates and how the 4 events occurs. First is the intake stroke. The piston passes top dead center, the intake valves open, and the fresh air is admitted into the cylinder. The exhaust valve is still open for a few degrees to allow scavenging to occur. Next is the compression stroke. After the piston passes bottom dead center, the intake valve closes and the piston travels up to the top dead center. Here, 1 complete revolution of the crankshaft is now done. Next, as the piston nears top dead center on the compression stroke, the injectors inject the fuel and the fuel starts to burn and combust and further heating the gases in the cylinder. The power stroke is the expanding gases from the combustion forces the piston down, which rotates the crankshaft. And lastly, the exhaust stroke. As the piston passes bottom dead center, the exhaust valves are open and the exhaust gases starts to flow out of the cylinder. This continues as the piston travels up to the top dead center, pumping the spent gases out of the cylinder. At top dead center, the second crankshaft rotation is now complete. Next is the 2-stroke engine. The 4th series of events in this 2-stroke engine goes like this. First is the upward stroke with the compression and ignition. In the compression, when both the exhaust and intake valve ports are already closed, the piston travels up toward the top dead center. The fresh air is heated by the compression. Fuel is then injected and the fuel starts to burn, further heating the gases in the cylinder. Next is the downward stroke that consists of the power and the exhaust or scavenging process. The power is when the piston passes top dead center and the expanding gases forces the piston down, rotating the crankshaft. Exhaust, as the piston approaches bottom dead center, the exhaust valves or ports open and the exhaust gases start to flow out of the cylinder as fresh air comes in. In a 2-stroke engine, the end of the combustion stroke happens with the intake and exhaust or the scavenging process functions occurring simultaneously. That is all for their operating principles. We will now compare the 4-stroke and the 2-stroke engines with their disadvantages and advantages. First, 2-stroke engines have simple designs and mainly use ports or holes and sometimes valves for the exhaust valve, while 4-stroke engine uses valve mechanisms which makes maintenance and repair harder for them. The lack of complex valve mechanisms is the reason why 2-stroke engines weigh less, takes up less space, has cheaper repair costs, and has lesser initial cost compared to a 4-stroke engine. An advantage of a 4-stroke engine is it is more fuel efficient since fuel is consumed once every 4 strokes, but also results to less power since it only receives a power stroke for every 4 strokes, unlike 2-stroke engines, which makes the 2-stroke engines more powerful. 4-stroke engines produces high torque at lower RPM, while 2-stroke produces high torque at higher RPM, which makes them more susceptible to wear and tear. Unlike 4-stroke, 2-stroke engines requires the oil to be mixed with the fuel, which causes its exhaust to be harmful. 4-stroke produces less noise and vibrations compared to 2-stroke engines. 2-stroke engines are usually used in smaller, lower-powered engines such as scooters, jet skis, small outboard motors, and lawn equipment such as lawn mowers and chainsaws. It is also used in ships' propulsion. 4-stroke engine, on the other hand, are mainly used in automobiles like cars, trucks, and other vehicles. So that would be all. Thank you.